Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by Rusty Saloon, a Rust gambling website for those who are 18 and older. It has 6 awesome game modes: roulette, crash, 50x, towers, dice, and a brand new game mode called mines. They have a faucet system where you can get a free 3 cents every 15 minutes just for simply changing your name to include Rusty Saloon. And of course, they have a withdraw page where you can choose from hundreds of different skins. And if you click on my affiliate link in the description, you'll get a free 50 cents on top of all of that. Thank you very much to Rusty Saloon for sponsoring this video. Hello and welcome back to another episode of How to Play Like a Pro, the series where I go in depth into a skillful Rust player's thoughts, movements, and actions, which allow them to get the edge in a fight that they otherwise might have lost. In today's video, we're going to be looking at content creator Warrior. Warrior is best known for his veteran-like gameplay, as he's constantly dominating solo, all whilst having a near-perfect spray. But what sets Warrior apart for me isn't in fact his spray, but his insane use of camera control, as it completely outclasses many other popular Rust streamers. So thank you very much to Warrior for letting me use your clips, and with all that being said, let's get right into the video.
Bro, what?
So there's a decent amount of stuff happening in this clip, so let's break it down. He obviously knows that a train's coming, so he's camping in the corner. But what you might have missed is that he's actually camping whilst using his ult look in order to make sure that his DB isn't poking out around the corner. Most likely his enemy's going to be looking forward, but even if they were looking to his side, this is all they'd see. They wouldn't actually see his body until it's way too late. And because he's using his alt key to look forward, he can still have perfect vision, and even if they are looking his way, he'll see them perfectly. He then pushes up and uses the crate in order to get cover, and instinctively he's already looking down before charging up the compound bow. This is because you can charge up the compound bow and then uncrouch in order to get a free shot, peeking your head above the crate. But notice how he's constantly looking down at his feet, because it means his head's covered and this is all the enemy can see. However, if he was to charge his compound bow crouched, then obviously his head would be sticking out. In this clip again, we see Warrior abusing his alt key in order to gain an advantage. Initially, he's actually looking down at his feet in order to hide his DB, whilst alt keying to the right so that he can see the enemy. If he wasn't alt keying, this is how much he might stand out in the peripheral vision of his enemy. However, as you can see, when he's alt keyed and crouched, you can see that his body roughly lines up with the size of the flower bed, and because he's not moving at all, it's even less obvious than what it looks like in this video. And then he walks up and looks the enemy straight in the eye, and you gotta think that he's been caught at this point, but because he's using his alt key and he's actually looking down at his feet, this is all that the enemy would have seen. He then gets a clean kill by getting the jump on him, and obviously prioritizes looting the gun before the armor and meds. He then runs to Ticket Booth, which has bulletproof glass windows, not only allowing him to kit up, but also see his incoming danger in order to figure out his next move. And also, what I love most about this looting right here is that he actually gets 2 meds in before putting on the armor. If you look closely, you notice that you can actually start to trigger the med animation and then switch to your inventory and put on the armor. Putting on the armor will not get in the way of that med, and it will still go through. He starts off by scouting using the alt key trick that he's been doing previously, nothing new here, but once he sees his enemy he obviously switches out to the gun and kills him. There's a dead body on the ground, but instead of looting him, again he runs into ticket booth for safety. What you can actually do is start to loot the body and then move away from it. In Rust, if you want to loot a body, you can start by looting it and then you can move anywhere up to about 1.5 meters away from it. So what he does is he starts looting and then drags his body to safety inside of ticket booth. Obviously he could have looted while staying on the edge of ticket booth, but you want to be in the far back corner to be as safe as possible. He then uses the glass window in order to line up his iron sight to get another easy kill. Crosshair placement is something that's overlooked in Rust because, well, we don't have crosshairs. However, it's still something that's very important and you need to be keeping it in mind, especially when you have resources such as a glass window that you can use in order to line up your screen better.
There's just nowhere.
So obviously in this clip he's camping in a bush, but once again you might have missed that he's still abusing alt look. In order to make sure that his crossbow doesn't stick out of the bush, he's actually looking straight down and alt looking out. This is what it looks like to the enemies whilst they're walking by. Had he been doing it the other way, you can see that the crossbow sticks out quite a bit. And because he's in a 1v2, he utilizes patience to the max. He waits for the first guy to completely pass before going and killing the second. Had he killed the first guy, the second guy would have been looking directly at him and had an easier time getting the trade kill. He then of course picks up the SAR, and because the SAR actually has a pull-out animation, you can see that he proceeds to juke left and right before actually committing to the aim. Had he commit to aiming before doing those two jukes, he would have been a standing still target and almost certainly would have died.
Let's see what we can do. The chase is on. We're in a pipe, I think. Did he go up? Fucking hell.
So he gets the tag and obviously wants to push. However, notice how he's not hugging the silo because he remembers that he thought he saw a shotgun on the back of his enemy.
We're in a pipe, I think.
Therefore, he wants to keep as much distance as possible whilst using his alt key so that he can still look in the direction that he thinks he might peek from. He then jumps onto the railing, which is a really smart play because it gives him a way out. Had the guy pulled out a revolver and instantly headshot Warrior, Warrior could have simply jumped down onto the stairs and been out of the line of sight of his enemy. Of course, we know that doesn't happen, and instead the enemy goes for the high ground. Warrior takes one shot but instantly wants to get out of the situation. Had he stayed there, the only way that he could actually land any damage is if he stands there like a sitting duck and holds down his ADS as he's looking directly up. Of course, this gives the guy on the silo peeker's advantage as he gets to dictate the fights. So instinctively, Warrior wants to get out of this situation and climb up the silos immediately. And because he knows that he's been tagged once with the crossy, he can commit to the nail gun in order to finish off the kill. And that's everything I have for you today. Of course, everything I said in this video is my opinion. Warrior might not have been thinking everything that I said, but again, a lot of his actions will be instinctual. Of course, if you want to go check him out, his links will be down in the description. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.